check this out, guys. Inside this little drawer on my porch, there is a bird's nest. I don't know if you can see it. Try to get so you can see it in there without doing any damage to the birds. There's a little bird's nest that some birds have put inside this little chest here, and they're house sparrows, and house sparrows are known for making nests in tiny little crevices and little places around houses. They typically live in maybe like a little gutter or inside a tiny little birdhouse if you put a birdhouse up. So if I wanted to know how many house sparrows there are in my neighborhood, I might go around and try to count them, but I really can't count all the birds that are flying. But if I look inside my porch, little drawer there, and I see that there are 4 birds in that nest, a mom, a dad, and 2 babies, well then, if I go around and find other nests, and let's say I find 10 other nests, well, I can say, well, maybe there are 4 birds in every nest, and then I can estimate that there are 40 sparrows in my area. That is what we call indirect observation. Indirect observation is when you count something that leaves evidence of itself. So for example, a nest, or maybe a den if I were looking at a fox and its den, or maybe tracks. If I were to see a herd of deer and I could see the tracks that they left behind, I could estimate how many deer there were there. Or maybe I could do, if I were looking at a field of cattle and I look around and I see there are 100 poops on the ground of the cattle, I could guess that there are 100 cattle in that herd. So you can use anything that an animal leaves behind, and this is called indirect observation because you're not looking right at the animal, you're looking at something that it left behind. So another example would be if I wanted to know the population of students in the school, what if I went and looked and counted how many lockers there are? And then I could get an idea. Would I have the right exact number? No, I would have an estimate of how many there are. Indirect observation works really well for animals that move around a lot, but that leave some kind of form of physical evidence. I couldn't use this for maybe like a turtle or a fish because I don't find something that's sort of like a home or a burrow for them. But it's great for things like birds and maybe gorillas that make nests, fox, things like dogs and wolves in the wild, anything that makes a den or a nest or a hole or something that I can count. Okay, so that is indirect observation, counting evidence of something that is living.